There was a man whose name, when whispered in a room, made grown men go silent. Not because he was loud, not because he carried a weapon, but because of something far more dangerous. He carried power, quietly, deliberately, absolutely. And today, we are going to study him, not to glorify fear, but to understand it. Because hidden inside the story of the man everyone feared are some of the most profound lessons about leadership, psychology, and human nature you will ever encounter. Stay with me. This is going to change how you see power forever. Part 1. Who is the man everyone feared? Throughout history, in every era, in every culture, there has always been one figure who stood apart. Not the loudest man in the room, not the one with the biggest title on the door, but the one whose presence shifted the energy of every space he entered. People prepared before meeting him. They rehearsed their words. They straightened their posture. They chose their sentences carefully. Why? Because this man had mastered something that most people spend their entire lives chasing and never finding. He had mastered the art of commanding respect without demanding it. He did not need to threaten. He did not need to perform. His reputation arrived before he did, and it stayed long after he left. The man everyone feared was not always a villain. In fact, more often than not, he was simply a man who understood the rules of the world better than everyone else around him. Part 2. The psychology of fear and respect. Now let us get into the psychology, because this is where it gets fascinating. Fear and respect are not the same thing, but they share a border. When you respect someone, you acknowledge their value. When you fear someone, you acknowledge their power. The man everyone feared lived at the intersection of both. Psychologists call this a dominance-prestige dynamic. Research from the University of British Columbia shows that humans instinctively sort the people around them into two categories: those who earn status through admiration, and those who earn status through dominance. Most people operate in one lane. The man everyone feared operated in both. He was admired by those who watched him from a distance, and he was feared by those who stood in his way. This combination is rare, and it is powerful beyond measure. Here is why. When people only admire you, they feel comfortable challenging you. But when people both admire and fear you, they think twice. They calculate, they hesitate, and in that hesitation, your power grows. Part 3. The 5 traits that made him untouchable. Let us break down exactly what made this man who he was. 5 traits. Study them carefully. Trait number 1. Silence as a weapon. The man everyone feared understood that silence is louder than noise. While ordinary people rush to fill awkward pauses, he sat comfortably in the quiet. He let silence do the work. He let other people reveal themselves through their nervousness. When someone spoke too much, he simply watched. And that watching, that stillness, made people deeply uncomfortable in the most powerful way. Silence signals that you are not desperate, that you are not afraid, that you are in complete control of yourself. And a man in complete control of himself is the most intimidating force in any room. Trait number 2, radical consistency. He did what he said, every single time. In a world full of people who make promises and forget them,
A man whose word is iron becomes something almost supernatural. People feared him because they knew that if he made a commitment, it would happen. If he set a boundary, it would hold. If he made a warning, it would come to pass. This consistency was not stubbornness. It was a form of absolute integrity that made him completely predictable in the best and most terrifying way. You knew exactly where you stood with him, and that clarity, in a world of confusion and games, was overwhelming. Trait number 3, mastery of information. The man everyone feared always knew more than he revealed. He studied people. He listened more than he spoke. He gathered information quietly and used it precisely. This is a principle as old as Sun Tzu, who wrote in The Art of War, "Know your enemy and know yourself, and in 100 battles you will never be defeated." The man everyone feared embodied this completely. He never walked into a room blind. He never made a move without understanding the landscape. And because of this, he was almost never caught off guard. People feared him because they sensed they could never fully read him, but he could always fully read them.
Trait number 5. He never chased. He attracted. The man everyone feared did not need your approval. He did not need your validation. He did not adjust himself to make you comfortable. He was a complete person, with a clear mission, with defined values, with an identity so solid that no one could shake it. This is perhaps the most magnetic quality a human being can possess. When you stop chasing approval, something extraordinary happens. People begin to chase you. They want to understand you. They want to be near you. And those who cannot reach you fear you. Part 4. The dark side of this power. Now, here is where I must be completely honest with you. The man everyone feared was not always a hero, and power without wisdom is one of the most dangerous things in the world. History gives us examples on both sides. On one side, we have figures like Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who was feared and revered, but used his power to serve millions and govern with philosophical wisdom. On the other side, we have figures whose power became corruption, whose fear became cruelty, whose influence became oppression. The difference between these two paths is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is character. Because here is the truth that the most powerful men in history eventually discovered. You can build an empire on fear, but you cannot sustain it. Fear without love creates enemies. Power without purpose creates emptiness. Dominance without service creates a legacy that crumbles the moment you're gone. The greatest version of the man everyone feared is the man who earns that fear through excellence, through integrity, and through a deep commitment to something larger than himself. Part 5. How to apply these lessons to your own life. Now let us bring this home. Because this video is not just about analyzing a character, it is about you. You do not need to be feared to be powerful, but you do need to be respected. And respect is built the exact same way. Here is your framework. 5 practical steps. Step 1. Speak less, mean more. Practice using silence deliberately. Let pauses breathe. Stop rushing to fill every gap. Your thoughtfulness is more powerful than your speed. Step 2. Do what you say. Start small if you have to. Make one commitment today and keep it absolutely.
then another. Build a reputation for being a person whose word means something. In a world of empty promises, that alone sets you apart. Step 3. Invest in knowing more. Read, study, observe people carefully. Ask better questions. Listen to understand, not just to reply. Information is currency, and those who hold it hold power. Step 4. Master your emotions. The next time you feel reactive, pause, breathe. Respond from your values, not from your wounds. This single discipline will transform every relationship and negotiation in your life. Step 5. Build your identity. Know who you are. Know what you stand for. Know what you will not compromise. A person with a defined identity is nearly impossible to control. And a person who cannot be controlled commands an entirely different kind of power. Closing. The man everyone feared did not wake up one day with his power already formed. He built it, decision by decision, silence by silence, kept promise by kept promise. He chose discipline when others chose comfort. He chose clarity when others chose confusion. He chose himself when the world pressured him to be someone else. And somewhere along that journey, people began to notice. Then respect, then fear. Not because he was dangerous, but because he was immovable. Here is my final question for you today. What would your life look like if you became someone that the right people respected deeply and the wrong people hesitated to challenge? That version of you is not a fantasy. It is a decision. It starts now. If this video gave you something to think about, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more content like this, you already know what to do. Until next time,